Dr. Derek Miles here, episode 195, October 2022 question and answer session. What are your recommendations for IT band syndrome? All right, so what is IT band syndrome? Is this a thing? And then what do people do with it?
So iliotibial band syndrome is basically, you can think of the big tendon that runs down the outside part of your leg. It comes off your tensor fascia lata, and this is where you'll hear a lot of people talk about like rolling and doing things like that. But it also is one of the places that we know you really can't change tissue structure with any uh, physiologically normal applied forces.
Yeah.
As far as in the short term. Now, once again, you get a motocross, I'm sure you can do something to it. Uh, but
Cut it.
really, yeah, where you tend to see this is more in the running population. And the evidence here isn't super high level. There are some papers that really attest to strengthening your quadriceps, some that are more in the strengthening your lateral hip. But really, the underlying thing comes down to strengthening your lower extremities. And then the good old load management conversation, to where if you are someone running 20 miles a week and getting symptoms 4 miles into a run, we might be limited to 15 miles a week and 3 miles a run as we're going through the rehab side of it and then building back to prior levels and beyond.
Yeah, it seems like the strengthening, like the lower extremity in general, is a good play. And then also, like, in a way that is not the same way that you're experiencing pain, right? Because you could, for example, improve somebody's strength if we're measuring this by like seated dynamometer reading at a quadriceps extension. If you had them do like sprints up a hill, for example, you're like, all right, well, we can improve strength that way, but because it's still running in this case, it's probably not the most therapeutic like improvement in strength. So we'd want to do some just regular resistance training stuff. And whether it's, it's quadriceps focused or hamstrings focused or, lateral hip or glute or whatever, it's like, do it all. Again, why not both? Just do the whole thing. Yeah. The so funny, like with the foam roller bullshit, it's like, all right, you're laying on this thing. And somehow the force vector from this thing is directed only at the trigger point or the knotted tissue or the whatever. And it's applying enough force to break that down, but yet not cause any bruises or not any structural damage around this one particular area, despite you using like, this blunt object to roll yourself out. That makes no sense. Like, just no sense from the jump. But people still do it. They're like, it feels good. I'm like, yeah, I guess, rolling around on something can feel good. That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it feels good, knock yourself out, but it's not the thing you need to be doing right now. I mean, this gets back to the what people want versus what they need
Sure, yeah.
conversation. So,
Yeah. You're just thinking about whether or not you could. You never thought about whether or not you should. Jurassic Park. We're going to get that into every podcast, I think, from here on out. It's going to happen.